Hello everyone, my name is Flavio Pereira. I'm part of the technical enablement at OCI. This is the storage lesson 200 level. And on this last part, we're going to cover file storage service. So I'm going to give you an overview of file storage and cover some of the performance aspects of file storage as well. Just to give a quick overview, file storage is a service that can provide you shared file system across OCI. So if you have applications or servers that needs to access a single file system, a shared file system, so file storage is a great services that can provide that for you. It's based on is a managed services, so you can provision the file storage. And what I mean by manage is the file storage will grow in size. It depends on the amount of data you actually put inside of the file system. So you don't have to worry about increasing the file storage, increasing the amount of storage. As you start putting data on it, it automatically increase and give you the flexibility of just attach those file storage on any instances that you have up and running on OCI. As you probably saw in 100 level, all the components about file storage, the mount target, the file storage as well, so how you mount it, how you access that inside of the instance. So it's just here just to give an overview of what it is and show you some capabilities of file storage as well. So it supports NFS v3. You can hook up that on Linux or Windows, so you can, if you're running Linux or Windows instances, you can map that file storage and then be able to use that with your application. You can take snapshots, you can take backups of your storage as well. So if you once you create some sort of policies to copy the data, you can easily script that and take backup of your storage when you need it. In terms of performance, this is a table that gives you an idea of read and write bandwidth that you can achieve with file storage performance along with some IOPS. So we measured this. We measure this performance when you access the VM or the bare metal server connecting on the same availability domain where the file storage was mounted to it. So latency on the network will be impact here as you're crossing the network to access that file storage. There is more details on the file storage performance guide on this white paper, what goes all the way through the test and what exactly was executing in order to get those numbers. But that's just to give a reference, give an idea. Depends on the file system amount of data you have. You can see you can get better IOPS too. So if increasing from 1 terabyte to 100 terabytes, and then the amount of depend on the network too, so you can get more in terms of IOPS as well. Make sure you can parallel some of the jobs and executions when you're doing copies over the file storage. So if you can create multiple threads that can execute that, you can increase the amount of performance on the file storage. To minimize latency, it's recommended that you have the mount target and the clients or the machines that will be consuming the file storage on the same availability domain, so that will minimize latency for that as well. Another thing is when you mount the file storage on your VM, on your server, don't pass any options on the R size or on the read size, on the write size, because the way we adjust the file storage is to give you the better performance without any option when you're using the mount command. So make sure you don't put anything there, and then we automatically negotiate all the performance between the client and the server, so you get the best performance on the services. So there's a blog post that's going to talk about some of the tools to parallelize the copy from one place to another one using file storage. So that's going to give you better performance on the services too. Here's one reference architecture for EBS. So if you're running EBS, for example, you need a file storage service you need a shared device actually to provide for your EBS. File storage service is a recommended way to do it. and then that can help you out when you architecting the application on top of OCI. So there is a documentation and white paper going through all the configuration, how you can do that. You can access that on the link and then get all the information how to deploy this file file storage service and OCI to support your EBS. All right, so let me do a quick demo. I'm going to show you the file storage provision and then how you can get access to it. All right, so let me do a quick demo of the file storage service. So on the left menu, after I log into my OCI account, if I click on the left menu, there's a file storage option under core infrastructure, and I can click on file system. So here is the screen where I'm going to create my file system. So let's just create the first one. This is going to give me a few details about the file system information, the export information, and mount target information as well. So I'll change a couple things here to reflect the availability domain that I want to place my file system. So I'm going to edit the details here. I'm going to give another name here, just file system AD3. On availability domain 3. I also going to use the Oracle managed keys for encryption. I can also bring my own encryption if I want to. Export information, I'll keep that as file system AD3. I can increase the security of the export information. So if I want to give access to a specific set of IP addresses or subnets or amount of subnets inside of my VCN, so I can do that on the export options. So mount target, I can use I'm going to use the VCN that I have created here, the public subnet that I created as well, the region 1. And I'm going to just call that mount target AD3. Okay. So with that, I can click create. This is where we start the process of creating the file system and the mount target as well. Right. All right. So we created the file system AD3. I have a export path called file system AD3 to the mount target AD3. So fairly easy. Utilization here is 0 bytes. So I didn't put any file yet. I just created. If I check the file system portion, I can see all the information about the export path and the NFS export options. I can edit this, and I can control a little bit better who can have read and write access to my export path, right? So once I created, I have this information here. If I go into mount target, I'll see the mount target as well and which IP addresses was associated to my mount target. So if I click on the mount target, I can get the mount commands. So if I click here on the action button, I can get the mount command. So I can access my my Linux machine and then install the NFS OTUs package and then be able to mount the file system there. So it gives you some messages about the secure list. Of course, you have to open the secure ports on the FSS to make sure the traffic can go in and out of your VCN of your subnet, so you allow access to the mount target from the client that you install the NFS client on it. So here I can change the operating systems if I want a different operating system, right? So I'm using Oracle Linux. I'm going to just copy this command here. And if I go to the machine, and I'm going to use this one, which is the Denseo that we used before. So if I just install the NFS utils, so it says the package already installed, so Oracle Linux will come with the NFS utils install. So now I can just go back here and I'm gonna just create a directory. Just use the recommended information here. It can be another directory if you want to. Just create that, and then now I can just copy the mount command and execute it. So let's just go over here. I'm gonna mount my file system AD3 on this directory mnt file system AD3. So if I do that, then if I check the df-8, I can see the FSS mounted here, right? So if I go in any other machine that I have, I can mount the same point, and then if I create a file there, that will create a file here in the directory. It will show that on the other machine too. So let's do that real quick. Let me just split that into portions and get let me get the SSH to another VM. So real quick here, I do have a second VM. Let's use this one, and I'll get the public IP. Let's do an SSH on that one. So I don't have any FSS mounted here. So I'm just gonna use the same commands that I used here before. So just do created the mounting point, and we're gonna mount using the same command here as well. Okay, so now I have this file system mounted on 2 different machines. So if I navigated to /mnt file system, and if I do touch Flavio, create a file, right? I have a file created here. Now if I go to the mnt file system 83, I can also see the Flavio here, right? So if I remove from here, say yes, I want to delete this file. Oh. Yeah, I want to delete this file, so I just did a sudo command too. And if I check here, the file is gone, right? Yeah, so this is how you can share a file system between 2 boxes, 2 instances inside of OCI. Yeah, thanks for watching.